Hey, what's up? I'm Atia Babcock. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to teach your horse where to be for leading. If you've ever had the problem of your horse either dragging too far behind you on the lead line or racing ahead of you, this is the video for you. So we're going to be using the principle of relief with this. You've got to teach your horse where relief is. And you have to decide, personal preference wise, where you want your horse to be. So I teach all my colts to lead behind me because that's where I like them to be. But then some of my better horses that I know I'm going to be doing liberty type stuff with, I really like their eye at my shoulder, or some people like to be shoulder to shoulder. You have to decide what you want and make that obvious to your horse, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So with Scarlet, I'm going to ask for her eye to at least be at my shoulder. That's my expectation, and I'll show you how you can correct it when they go too far past you and they lag too far behind you. All right, so I'm going to walk off here, and I'm going to expect my horse to stay with me, and I'll swing my stick behind me if she doesn't catch up. Now, could you see how she like bowed way out far from me and then came up to me? That's because she doesn't really understand where to be. When I put pressure on, she wasn't immediately seeking relief with her eye to my shoulder. So that's where I know I have a little bit more work to do. And this also doubles as a great warm-up for your horse, especially with a lazy horse. Get them in sync with you. So we'll try this again. And I can drive her around. Don't trip. And if she goes in the no-go zone, which is too far behind me or out in front of me, I'm going to put pressure on. And if she gets too far ahead of me, I'm just going to disengage, and I'm going to hustle her around back to over here. And this is where she gets rest and relaxation and relief. So I'm actually going to spend a couple minutes here just rubbing on her, because I don't want her thinking that that is the spot to be. So I have to put pressure on her in those no-go spots. And ideally, I just want to put enough pressure on to make a change. And I can feel her in my hand and see how I'm going to walk off, and I'm going to stop. Give her another opportunity to get it right. And you don't have to do circles. And I'm just asking for that trot transition to make it a little more challenging to her, because that's where she's having the issue. If you haven't done this with your horse, by all means, do it at a walk. And get your horse comfortable with that first. But I'm trying to challenge her. And I'm asking her, when I walk a little bit faster, to trot and catch up with me. And that was much better. So this is a simple way you can get your horse thinking about sticking with you more. And if I really was to break it down for you, if your horse makes a mistake, goes too far forward, I'm going to disengage the hindquarters, no leaking forward, and then I'm going to hustle back over here, yield the hindquarters, and my horse gets a rub. And that's how I break that down and correct if my horse gets too far in front of me. If they lag too far behind me, I'm just going to use my string and ask them up. And if your horse is not quite sure where to be and they kind of bow out, use the rail. Be up against the rail, and that way when you flick your horse, there's only one right answer going forward. And I'll start soft and then I'll kind of increase the pressure if my horse doesn't understand it. And then I can start adding in a little backup. And that's how you can play with your horse and get them in tune with you and listening to you. I know I've done a bunch of videos on leading, but I think it's important to do it right. And a lot of people don't show you how to teach your horse where relief is, and that's so important. Your horse can't relax if they don't have understanding and they don't know where to be. So, till next time, keep it simple and keep it savvy.